because other issues of commercial disputes and the rest may have been placed elsewhere, largely. So from this end, I'm going to have a plenary, and we'll ask whoever the question directed to, you can note down, so that we can have maybe another 15 or 20 minutes from your end. And we're going to start from the Vice Chair here, then in that order, Kawinya, then Senior Counsel Kaluma, a lady, at least a lady. First round, then I'm not saying a lady, then Rosa. Then everybody will get up an opportunity. But we go in that order, the first bunch, then we take the next. But kindly, let's try to stick to the point so that we can accommodate everyone. So maybe 2 minutes maximum each.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Governor, you hold Nairobi in trust for all of us in this room and also beyond. I think the matter before us is Article 95, Sub-Article 2, matters of concern to the people. What we have witnessed is really hubris, and also it demonstrated a clear violation of law and order, people taking law into their own hands. I am happy that you have apologized, and in the fullness of time, I hope Kenyans will forgive you. From where the chairman is stopped, the Council of Governors issued a presser on this, and also senators, and also in Annex 16, the governor of Mombasa also wrote a letter supporting your position. If indeed you apologized, and you believe this is wrong, would you like to expunge this apparently appearing to support what has happened? Because I believe two wrongs don't make a right. The second issue, Mr. Chairman, Mr. John Intoiti and Mr. James Lempaka were interdicted. Have these individuals recorded statements with the police through the DCI? If they have not, then why have they been interdicted? Honorable Chair, my third issue is the government does not operate on cash, whether it is at the county level or even at the national level. And that is why we incur debts. Those are some of the reasons why we experience what you call pending bills. In this particular case, indeed you try to elaborate a sort of on and off discussion with KPLC. Before this particular incident, how much discussion have you carried out with KPLC so that such an unprecedented action should never have taken place? And finally, in your submission, you said that the place was cleaned up. Who was going to pay for that cleanup? Because indeed there were individuals who were acting outside the law, but at the same time, the county government of Nairobi ended up in picking up the bill. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Awinya, then Kaluma in that order, and lastly Buirosa. Then we take the next round.
Thank you, Chair. Chair,
And if you can, to make it easier, if you have a question for the IG or DIG or the governor, you specifically direct to, you mentioned that you are directing to a particular officer.
Yes. So my first question is to the governor, Chair, and it relates to the action taken on two officers already mentioned. The two officers, are these the only officers action has been taken against? Because from the letters, it would appear like these were the officers who gave direction, but there were also officers who acted on the ground. Has any action been taken against them? And my second question to the IG, you indicated that immediately you were out of the country when you got the report. Could you be able to tell this committee when this report was received, how soon the officers acted? Because definitely the time of action would have ensured perhaps some of the culprits would have been arrested. And I think to the DCI, whether the officers who did the act are among the ones who are under investigation, the ones who did the crime, who committed the crime. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I have two clarifications to seek with the National Police Service, especially the DCI. Number one, by what time do you see the investigations into the matter coming to an end? Because there is demand for quick action. Number two, the governor has mentioned that the switching off of lights could be a major security issue in Nairobi. And I cannot agree more. And yet we are in a situation where KPLC also enjoys monopoly. And by the way, the manner in which they enforce payment sometimes could be more crude than even what we are talking about. What do you propose to this committee that Parliament should do by way of addressing this monopoly and payment enforcement by KPLC? Because I believe, Chair, at an opportune time, I think we should have also KPLC here. There could be something in their approaches which could have provoked, this crude, obviously crude and primitive action from the county. But what would you propose if we were to go that direction, either in terms of law, in terms of conduct and behavior, in terms of enforcement payment? Parliament should be thinking about in terms of resolving this matter. Chair, I have only 2 or 3 clarifications with the governor. Number one, the governor indicates that there are payments demanded of them as the county government by KPLC relating to meters which are outside of the province of Nairobi County Government. We need more detail if they are in your possession on this, because it may speak to corruption. Yes, so we need those details so that we are able to rationalize this matter of indebtedness. And Governor, I heard you to say you made demands to the Nairobi County Government, to the Kenya Power Lighting Company for payment for various services you offer before you acted. But seeing through what happened and with my legal knowledge, I wanted to know, by way of more background, what could have provoked this thing. Did I hear you to say KPLC had disconnected you, or what? Because, Chair, it has been reported before. Instances where KPLC is even switching off hostels. And you can imagine if that were to happen where, for instance, we had newborn babies in incubators. It's instant death. So what could have provoked this action? Did KPLC switch the county government off? And if so, what facilities were switched off? We want to be clear on that. And then just your thoughts also on this issue of monopoly and the manner in which it is done. But would you, in the end, assure us that in terms of the commercial disputes that appear to be the genesis of this matter, you are in good stead with the relevant departments of government to resolve them so that we don't have disputes between governments? Thank you, Chair.
Lastly, Buirosa, in 2 minutes.
Chair, thank you. Chair, even as we sit here, I know that each and every Kenyan who's a consumer of KPLC has had issues with KPLC. So we are not here to say that KPLC is clean. But I'm happy to also note that the governor regrets what happened and has profusely apologized to Kenyans. And in that apology, the governor keeps on saying, it cannot happen under my watch. It cannot happen under my watch. But we know that it happened. Does this therefore imply that there are moments when the governor loses that watch? And if so, how then can Kenyans have a guarantee, Kenyans and the people of Nairobi, that this unfortunate incident will not happen again? Number two, if I look at the letters of interdiction, the action that's been taken by the governor or the county government, those letters are dated 27th February. 27th February happened to have been Thursday when the National Assembly debated elaborately on this issue, on this unfortunate issue. Could this action by the governor have been as a result of what happened in the National Assembly on Thursday? Because why 4 days after the act? We also know that the Nairobi County Secretary, Mr. Akumali, was quoted to have said, "We will remove garbage once KPLC pays us what they owe us." We would like to know, is the governor seized of that? Pardon?
Referring to statement?
Nairobi County Secretary, Mr. Godfrey Akumali.
County Secretary.
Yes. I'd like to know if the governor is seized of that utterance, and is he one of the officers also under investigation? And Honorable Chair, I'd say that I have a question for NEMA, and I don't know if you'd allow me to ask them. We know that NEMA is actually mandated to oversee, to supervise, and to coordinate all activities related to environment on behalf of the government. If this occurrence took place on the 24th, what did NEMA, headed by the Director General who's present here today, do to ensure that the health hazard that the people around Stima Plaza were exposed to was put to an end? It's not just important to come to a meeting after the fact. We'd like to know, what did he, as the Director General of NEMA, do to ensure that everything, or the health hazard that the people were exposed to, was brought to an end? I thank you, Chair.
So you can respond to the 4 questions, of course, by whoever the question referred to.